How's it going, guys? Cameron here with Canadian Gamer coming at you with another video. Hope you're all doing well. And I thought I'd put out a little bit of a celebratory video talking about all things my love for Bethesda and all of their games, and obviously Starfield as well. So, yeah, really excited for Starfield. I still can't believe I pre-ordered the limited edition with the Steelbook. Very excited for that. So before we get into today's video, just some housekeeping notes. Next week, I will be traveling. I will be headed to Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I don't know, we'll see if I have time. Maybe I'll take a little bit of video, check out the ocean. And who knows, maybe I'll even find a retro video game store. So keep an eye out for that video. That'll be sometime next week. So, on with today's video. And today we are talking about all things Bethesda. Now, I don't want this video to be extremely long. I know you guys have other things to do with your time. However, I wanted to talk about how I was introduced to Bethesda and these fine games you're looking at right here. So, as I had talked about before on the channel, I sort of fell out of love with gaming in the early 2000s. I had other stuff on the go. Myself being a young whippersnapper, you know, when you're in your late teens or early 20s, you're out there, out in a boot, chasing pussy, and you're not thinking about games, obviously. You've got other things on your mind, right? So, fast forward to around 2010, I want to say. A buddy of mine, he owed me some money. And I can't remember the story, but he more or less said, "Here, would you take this Xbox 360 as collateral for the funds that I owe you?" And I knew nothing about the 360. I'm like, Xbox 360, yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never owned one. So this was like the original model, right? The white model. What was it? 200 and... what was it, 50 meg? I don't know. There's barely any memory in it whatsoever. I can't remember the numbers. You guys can let me know in the comments below. I can't remember. And what came with it was a copy of Fallout 3. And yeah, I had heard of Fallout, obviously. Growing up as a kid in the 90s, I remember the original Fallout that came out on PC, which most of you watching this video today, you've probably never even played that version of Fallout. That had nothing to do with Bethesda. That was like an Interplay production. And then a little history lesson for you guys, but eventually Bethesda acquired the rights to Fallout, and that's when obviously the gears in the machine started to turn, and Bethesda turned Fallout, the franchise Fallout, can't even speak, into a money-making machine. So needless to say, I got Fallout 3, and I started playing it. And again, I had been out of gaming for a long, long time. And I started playing it, and I was immediately hooked. You know, you get into that first area there, the town, where you've got the nuke right in the middle of the town. And later on, there's a real cool segment here where it flashes. It's kind of like a black and white segment. And there's like a little kid, the pint-sized slasher, and he's running around with a knife chasing you. I'm the pint-sized slasher. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but that's what I always think about when I think of Fallout 3. But yeah, I very much remember being really immersed in that game, and I played it and I played it and I played it for hours and hours and hours. Now you gotta remember, this was like 2010. So when did that game come out? 2008. So as I'm playing that, I go to my local mall, and this at this point must have been 2011. And I went into, it was like, what was it, Music World at the time? I think it was Music World. And they had a huge poster out front for a game called Skyrim. And I look at it, and again, I'm out of the loop with regards to gaming. I'm not watching YouTube at this point. I'm like, Skyrim? So I go in and I look at it in store. I look at the box. I'm like, Bethesda? I'm like, these are the same guys that did Fallout 3. So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I bought it right away. I brought it home with me. And I started playing Skyrim, and I was immediately hooked. Gosh, I can't believe it was already 11 years ago. And I remember playing Skyrim, and I'm like, gee, I don't know, maybe I like this more than Fallout. You know, it's like obviously better looking, not as much dialogue. I don't know, maybe there was as much dialogue. I can't remember. I just remember there being more of an emphasis on combat than dialogue. And I can remember getting so involved in Skyrim. There was like this kind of like an underground chamber up in the northern part of the map where you had to find these jewels, and you get the jewels and you put the jewels into this crown, and if you got all the jewels, it would light up. And I never did get all the jewels, and maybe I'm getting that wrong. Maybe it wasn't jewels. It's been so long, but yeah, I just remember the game was so awesome, and once in a while, one of those huge dragons would fly in over top of you, and it would land, and you'd have to kill the dragon. And it's been so long since I played Skyrim. Now, as you can see here, I've got the Steelbook, but I actually did end up picking up the remastered version for the Xbox One, which I haven't actually played yet. So, but yeah, Skyrim was friggin' incredible. And around this time, after I got done playing Skyrim, well, fuck, they announced Fallout New Vegas. So that had to have been around 2012, no? And I remember I bought Fallout New Vegas brand new, and I enjoyed it so much, I ended up getting rid of my copy because they came out with the Ultimate Edition, and I went back to the store and I bought the Ultimate Edition, which has all the DLC on the disc. And Fallout New Vegas, that's actually my favorite Fallout game. And a lot of it, I think, has to do with the fact that it was developed by Obsidian, which now Obsidian is coming out with their own games there, The Outer Worlds, which was really good. We won't talk about that here. But Fallout New Vegas, oh, what else could be said? You're chasing that platinum chip. There's an air of mystery. And I just loved the setting, how it basically took place in Las Vegas. And you're on the strip, and you had your little Rex, your dog named Rexy, and it was a very memorable experience. I never actually got through all of the DLC because it's just so much content there to tackle. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas for me was heads and tails above Fallout 3 to the point where I didn't really want to go back and play Fallout 3. I love Fallout New Vegas that much. And then, I was late to the party, but I enjoyed all those games so much that I just described. I went out and I had a buddy actually, and he told me about Oblivion, a coworker. I'm like, Oblivion? I haven't even heard of that. And then I went out and I bought Oblivion. As you can see, I've got the collector's edition here. You guys can't see it. Maybe I'll flash a clip of it, but I've got the map for Oblivion up on the wall over there in a nice frame. But Oblivion, wow. I actually, and a lot of people will agree, some of you won't, I prefer Oblivion over Skyrim. The gates of Oblivion, when you start out, and there's a storm brewing, and you go through that first gate, I was hooked. I was so hooked. And the world, sure, you could laugh at the graphics now, they're pretty dated, but as far as the colors and the aesthetics, it was really good. Even to this day, I think it looks really good. I'm not talking about the graphics, just I'm talking about artistically speaking, it looks like a really good game. And at the beginning there, when you first start out and you're in the catacombs and you're greeted by Patrick Stewart, and you work your way through that first dungeon, and it takes, I don't know how long. It's like a half hour. And then when you finally get out of that dungeon and you walk out into the open world for the first time, when you come out from underground because you were in prison, man, that was just a very memorable set piece, wasn't it? So yeah, Oblivion, I really love that game so much. A lot of memorable NPCs. Remember Joffrey? So I did beat all of these games that you're seeing up here, except for Morrowind. Morrowind was given to me by a close friend of mine at the time, and I have played it. I haven't really gotten into it, to be honest with you. That one there could use a remake. It seems like it is kind of dated by today's standards. And when you play that via backwards compatibility, it's a little bit janky. However, when I got this copy of Morrowind Game of the Year edition, at the time I didn't have an original Xbox. So now that I have an original Xbox, I guess I could go back and play it the way it was meant to be played. However, I believe it is backwards compatible even with the Xbox Series console, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, all that to be said, are Bethesda games without their faults? No. Obviously, they're extremely glitchy. Does that deter from the fun factor? No, I don't think so. As long as you save and save often or use autosave, you should be fine. I would save often, manual save. And yeah, so if you're asking me, what's my favorite Bethesda game, or at least out of these games, this style of game, right? The open world RPG, if you will. Gosh, I don't know. If I was on a deserted island, probably Oblivion. To be honest with you, probably Oblivion. And the DLC for that, the Shivering Isles, really good as well. But Fallout New Vegas is a close second as well. Both fantastic games that you could literally, lock yourself in a room, and if you were to, take the clocks off the wall and have somebody knock on the door 3 times a day to feed you some food and have a pot to piss in, you could waste away years of your life without even knowing it playing these games. They're all good, but that's the cool thing about the new game that we're getting there, Starfield. It's a brand new IP. We haven't had a new IP from Bethesda in the longest time. So if you're a fan of space exploration like I am, huge fan of Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, and you're a fan of the Fallout games, and you do like Elder Scroll games as well, then you're in for a real treat for sure. You're in for a treat. There's going to be a lot of salty Sony ponies out there that aren't going to be able to play this game, and maybe they're not showing their bitterness towards Xbox and Microsoft right now, but I'm telling you, as the days go by, we get closer to that release date for Starfield, maybe this is just one game that Microsoft can brag about, but this is the game. This is the game. I guarantee you guys, this is going to be bigger than Tears of the Kingdom, which not too many people are even talking about right now. All the buzz in the air is Alan Wake 2 and Starfield. Absolutely, Starfield. So I am just so excited for this. Hopefully we do get a 60 FPS patch on the Series X. If we don't, that's fine. I can live with it. I can absolutely live with it. But what I can't live with is being an Xbox Series X owner and not having that game in my console, in front of me, on my TV, on day one. Day one, baby. So, yeah, I love Bethesda. I love the Fallout games. I love the Elder Scrolls games. And I'm looking forward to this new IP. Okay, Bethesda needed a new IP. We've been dying for a new IP. So this is just perfect. I cannot fucking wait. And the gameplay they showed at Summerfest, I don't know if you guys caught the little Easter egg, but one of the guys that comes up with the blonde hair, he's the guy that was an NPC in Oblivion. Same voice actor and everything. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. So yeah, Team Xbox, baby. Woo! Have you guys pre-ordered Starfield? Are you excited? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know about your memories taking a trip down memory lane with these games here. Anyways, guys, great to be on Team Xbox. Thanks so much for watching. You people are wonderful and beautiful. You take care.